On June 14, 2026, diplomats met in Geneva, Switzerland, to sign the formal agreement ending the conflict between the United States and Iran. The message broadcast from the White House is one of total military success. According to the administration, the war concluded with the complete submission of the Iranian regime. On paper, the conventional military results are difficult to argue with. Operation Epic Theory achieved absolute control of the skies and resulted in the targeted elimination of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Yet the actual text of the treaty tells a different story. The U.S. is moving to finalize a deal that contains unexpected concessions, diverging sharply from the dominance displayed on the battlefield. The memorandum includes a massive sanctions relief package for Tehran and a $300 billion reconstruction fund, a massive capital injection intended to rebuild Iranian infrastructure.
These international payouts are moving forward while the American economy faces a domestic crisis. Gas prices have hit a national average of $4.50 a gallon, sparking widespread public anxiety just months before the midterm elections. To manage the press, the Department of War has begun an aggressive campaign of domestic distractions, including the sudden, high-profile declassification of unresolved UFO encounters through a new program called Pursue. When a superpower follows a military victory with multi-billion-dollar payouts to its opponent and a frantic effort to change the domestic news cycle, the definition of that victory becomes an open question. Iran's military doctrine was designed around the reality that they could never win a conventional air war against the United States. Instead, they relied on asymmetry, using geography to neutralize technological advantages. This map shows the Strait of Hormuz. Iran turned this 21-mile waterway into the primary battlefield. Using drone strikes and maritime harassment from their coast, Iran choked the strait. Traffic plummeted 97%, stranding 1,200 vessels and cutting off 1/5 of the world's oil. The United States attempted to force a resolution by blockading Karg Island, shown here. By targeting Iran's primary oil export terminal, the U.S. aimed to create a situation of mutual economic strangulation. But the U.S. military's absolute control of the air couldn't reopen the water. Iran's grip on that single physical choke point remained firm, despite the destruction of their leadership. The result was a simple, brutal calculation. With the dual blockades in place, the global oil supply vanished while demand remained fixed, causing the price per barrel to spike. This economic shock hit the G7 nations immediately. Rising fuel and consumer costs began to destabilize the political standing of leaders across the Western alliance. For the American administration, these rising costs at home created a direct threat to their control of Congress. Voters reacted to the pain at the pump, making the continuation of the war politically impossible. Tehran realized that as long as they could withstand the initial strikes, they only had to wait for the pressure on Western fuel prices to become unbearable. The blockade outlasted the American public's appetite for the conflict. To manage the fallout of the deal, the administration turned to a massive internal propaganda effort. They deployed AI-generated images of success and even ordered a redesign of U.S. currency to feature the president's signature. The primary goal of the signed treaty was the immediate reopening of the shipping lanes. As these tankers move again, global commerce can finally resume, providing the economic relief the administration desperately needs. However, the underlying strategic tensions remain. Hezbollah is still a functioning force in Lebanon, and Iran's regional influence was not dismantled by the treaty, only paused. The 2026 war showed that tactical command of the skies is a separate matter from economic survival. In a hyper-connected world, an adversary who can weaponize a single geographic choke point can force a superpower to the negotiating table, regardless of the score on the battlefield.